Hi, I'm Genevieve Nightingale, founder of Smart American Kids. I've been seeing some trends on the Facebook homeschool groups that I'm in because it seems like there's a lot of the same things going on in the groups. So there's a lot of parents pulling their kids out of school to homeschool. I love seeing this. There's a lot of fear, and I guess I understand it. If you can look back to when you had your first newborn and you didn't know anything, maybe the first bottle you made, the first diaper you changed, there's an element, of course, the fear of the unknown. And it's just like that. So don't worry. You know what you're doing more than you think you do. And sometimes you just have to dive in and start, okay? You're not going to draw a blank when it's important, trust me. Have you ever seen Little House on the Prairie? The first many years, those girls were at home and they were schooled by their mom. The skills. So remember to teach your children the skills that they need just to run a home, to cook, to clean, to deal with money. You have to teach your kids this stuff, right? So that's probably number one. If you're pulling your kids out to homeschool and you're not quite sure how to start, stop doing academics for a little bit and really just get into the flow of being a family together in the home and teach them how to run the home with you. If you want to learn how to teach science through cooking, cooking is science right there and then. So get some great recipes together. It's also math. They're learning how to measure. They're combining things. It's instant gratification. Plus, you can study cultures. Yes, you have to sit down and just do your schoolwork sometimes, but sometimes you can learn the same stuff in a different way. Love and curiosity for your actual child. Who is this person? What are they interested in? And see if you can't teach some of the subjects through what they're interested in. My son is interested in airplanes and flying, and there's so much that can be taught through flying his simulations. First of all, he's involved in Civil Air Patrol, so there's a lot they learn there, okay? And then flying his simulators, he's learning everything from just following instructions and flying to physics, meteorology, and it's very mathematical and technical, and he's doing something he loves. Am I concerned that he's going to be behind? Behind in what? As long as he knows how to do what he wants to do, it doesn't really matter if he doesn't know how to do everything else. To me, that's my approach. I did just have him, and I think he's still reading it, geometry. Start with geometry, not how to do geometry, but just learn about it. Levels of geometry. And I've got the my big books of whatever I've talked about. Let me get one. Big fat notebook. Okay, this is American history. Geometry is the best place to start in math, no matter how old they are. Of course, learning shapes is geometry, and so is learning how to do geometry. So there's a whole bunch of different levels there, and then it rolls into like physics for airplanes for my son. That works perfectly. Whatever your child is interested in, teach the subjects through that. And just by exploring, just by doing, they're going to have to do these things and they'll learn. It doesn't have to be like pulling teeth. Also, have them teach you. You can learn a lot about your child, and they can learn a lot about themselves and what they know by teaching you. Let them tell you what they're interested in, what they've learned, and ask them to show you how something works or whatever, but be genuinely interested and sit and watch them and let them share with you. And so whatever they're interested in, facilitate that. Let them find their passions and just help them do that. A lot of parents have been expressing worry about whether or not they are doing it legally. Just Google it. Google how to homeschool in Minnesota, how to homeschool in Texas, and it'll give you the guidelines of exactly how to do it. Some states you don't really have to do anything. You can also go into these groups of homeschoolers and put that in there so that your state is listed and ask for advice from other parents. If you're interested in the standards of your state, Google it. They have the standards, and it'll tell you what those kids should know, but it might be more confusing than anything. I mean, they really make it way more technical sounding than it is. So you know what they need to learn. If you're thinking about homeschooling and you have a grip on it a little bit in the world and can manage life, then you can also homeschool your kids. And you don't have to be smarter than them. You just have to give them the resources and help them achieve. But really, like, what do they want to do? What are their interests? Just start there. There doesn't have to be a bunch of fear about that. And then resources that I love, so many parents are asking about what curriculum they should use. I didn't use a curriculum. We did try for 1 year, I think, but it was just, I didn't like it. My kids were more free flow. So we use a lot of Khan Academy and have from the beginning. And we also use YouTube. It's very, very educational content for all levels, right on up to MIT. So there's really no shortage of free curriculum online. It's not that hard. So how do you graduate your kids? Also depends on your state, but most homeschoolers, they make a transcript for high school. It looks just like a normal school transcript because homeschooling is school. So then you go back through all of these different cool things you've done, and it doesn't have to be just like the core subjects. You should have seen my son's transcript for college. It was so much more than a normal high school student because he had learned things like culinary arts and advanced driving skills. These were things that he learned at home. Now, it's not like he just did culinary arts because I taught him to cook. What I did is not only was he interested in cooking, but from a very young age, he was learning how to read and follow instructions and math and science and cultures by cooking. Okay, once he got older and showed an interest and a talent for cooking, I bought some of those meal kits where he has to follow the instruction on the card. All the stuff is there for him. It tells him exactly what to do, chop this, mince that. So he learned all that different stuff. And we did a few of those. And I kept all the recipes that he cooked, and he did an excellent job. So that is something that went on his high school transcripts as culinary arts. Absolutely. Most kids don't have that level of experience in high school cooking good meals, gourmet style. So, I hope this is getting your juices flowing a little bit. It doesn't have to be school at home, is what I'm trying to say. Take that child and mold them, follow their lead, and just give them what they need to do that stuff. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Look around. Look around our society. Just the fact that you are concerned about your child and their education means they'll be just fine. So lighten up on yourself. Don't worry. Don't get scared. And just remember how you felt when you brought them home from the hospital, or maybe you had a home birth, and for your first baby, that it was maybe all new and you did it anyway. And that's just how homeschooling is. You'll be just fine. So I'm rooting for you by all means. Leave comments and questions. I would be more than happy. I have been doing this for a very, very long time. I think I have kind of a different approach. I wouldn't exactly call it unschooling, but we add a lot of extra stuff in there and give a lot of freedom to be who they really are. So I appreciate you for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video.